So Amber, you mentioned GA4, which is Google Analytics 4. It's probably the most major change to Google Analytics since it came out. What are some of the major changes and why have they gotten rid of certain things and added others?
I mean, it's really built on the idea of people are going through a process that's on their TV, on their computer, on their phone, and not really being able to measure that across the board. So that's really where it started, was the web and app kind of cross function. But now it's blowing out more to that user-based model rather than the cookie-based, and really trying to understand, there's updates from a privacy standpoint. Users are going to opt out of tracking. It's also going to set up to allow the analytics platform to kind of fill in the blanks with machine learning of what's happening for those users that are saying no, and respecting that privacy as well.
GA, even the free version, Universal, has had an attribution model in it for quite some time. The default that most people use, of course, is they measure on last click. We don't have to measure on last click using GA today. As I understand it, the attribution modeling in the new version is more robust. It's got some more options in it. Also in GA4, which is exciting, is they're bringing in actually some of the features from the paid version of GA into GA4 to provide more AI and machine learning around generating insights. So there's already some nice tools in the free version of GA to do that today. That's going to be enhanced pretty significantly in GA4 with a couple of features that I've used in the paid version that I think will be great. The platform is now going to be geared more towards making it easier to track specific events that happen on pages. And again, you can do that today, and it's not hard to code for that today, but the platform is really not set up to track really well kind of the event and the user level. And that's what one of the major changes in GA4 is going to be providing, is the ability to track at the event and to set up events and track all those different actions you might want to have on pages in an easier fashion, in a more robust fashion, providing different metrics to measure that's not in GA today, which I think will be great. And then also to provide more kind of visibility and robust tracking at the user level, which again, as we're talking about cookie deprecation and first-party data, that becomes much, much more important as well.
We've got companies like the Trade Desk working with the IAB to develop a new sort of universal ID. And my understanding is that they're trying to do it almost like an open standard whereby anybody can use it. If that were to happen, if that were the case, maybe there's a couple of different competing IDs that sort of win out that market battle. I assume then, rather than cookie data sort of getting flowed into your Google Analytics, you now have ID-based traffic coming in, which is essentially much more individualized with privacy attached to it. Is it the changes that are happening in how we're identifying individuals within the traffic itself?
You can track at the user level in GA today. And in fact, there's a reporting tab that will have an anonymized user ID that you can go in and you can see actions that a specific user takes today. Or one thing that a lot of people don't take advantage of is you can measure performance in data cohorts. So you can look at a cohort of users and see when those users came to the website and then track that specific user over a period of time to see their actions. The downside is the ability to do that in GA is not designed to be able to do it at scale. Let's put it that way. I can look at an individual user's actions they take on a site, but in the free version of GA, I can't really do any reporting to look at that in aggregate. I can kind of look at it one user at a time. So it's nice to look at. It doesn't give you the ability to do anything very actionable in it. Now you can start to connect your Salesforce instance or to other CRMs, and track that ID from Salesforce into GA. But again, the reporting in GA to look at just the user side is there, but it doesn't give you the ability to do it at scale where you can start to look at meaningful things.
Yeah, and I think it is a focus on trying to make it more actionable, to your point, Rob, and rather than now you're kind of answering a single question is what you're able to do. And you kind of have to know what the question you're leading to is, where now it is more of that aggregate level. What do we do with it? What's trending? How do we move forward from it? It's quite difficult to do right now, but being able to do it at that broader user level should provide us better insights and direction going forward.